Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're going to see one important topic in finance for non-finance people, and that is working capital and operating cycle. There are a lot of misconceptions regarding working capital and operating cycle in professionals who are not from finance. And if you try to Google it, you will get more confused. So today we are going to see these two concepts in detail and along with some other concepts like depreciation and amortization. Now, let's see what is working capital. Now, as per me, the definition of working capital should be money required for day-to-day operations of the business. Now, this is the most simplest definition of working capital. That is money required for day-to-day operations of the business. Let us see what is operating cycle. Operating cycle is always in days and working capital is always in rupees, dollars, currency. The operating cycle is time required to convert a cash input to cash output. Means time required from purchase of raw material or cash payment for purchase of raw material to cash generated from sales of the goods. Now, let's understand these two concepts properly so that it will be easy for us. Now, let's see. Yeah. Let's say we're starting business. This is day zero. We're starting a business. In order to start a business, I must purchase a raw material. Let's say I purchased the raw material of rupees 100 on day zero. And this raw material was in my factory line for 1 day. Then on day two, we started converting it into finished goods. It took me almost 4 days to convert this raw material into finished goods. So this is finished goods. Here it will raw material and here we started working on it. Okay, now once finished goods are prepared, it's not compulsory that they will get sold in a day. So finished goods to sales. Let's say it took me another 5 days to sell my finished goods. And after sales also, my debtors, they paid me, let's say after 15 days and not on that particular day. Please understand guys here, the 100 rupees which I have invested on day zero got back after 4 and 5, 5 plus 5, 10, 10 plus 15, 25 days. After 25 days. Now the question comes in my mind that if I purchase raw material on day zero, that money I'm going to get it after 25 days. So should I wait for 25 days? What will happen on day one? On day one, I will again have to invest 100 rupees. And the complete cycle will take place. And that 100 rupees I will get on day 26th. Similarly, on day 3, I again will have to invest 100 rupees and that money I will get it on 27th day. So my question is, for how many days will I have to keep on putting 100 days, 100 rupees Yes, you will have to put 100 rupees for 25 days, because on day 26th you will get the 100 rupees which you have invested on day first. So these 25 days, this is called operating cycle. And 100 rupees which I require every day multiplied by my operating cycle will be equal to my working capital. So my working capital is 100 into 25, that is 2500 rupees. Let's say we are considering from Indian point of view, so rupees. It's as simple as that. Now, if you do not understand this, I'm going to teach you the same thing, but with the help of Excel. Now, let us see that. I'm going in detail. Please bear with me. If you have any questions, you can just ask me in comment and I will help you with those questions. Okay, now look. I will just increase the size. Okay. On day one, I have purchased the raw material. 7 days, my raw material was in the store, was in the godown itself. So those 7 days, or for those 6 days, sorry, the raw material which it was in godown, those 6 days are called raw material inventory period. What does that mean? For how many days on an average raw material remains in the inventory? Now, from day 7th to day 13th, I converted raw material, but it took almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days again to convert raw material to finished goods. Now, these 7 days are called work in process inventory period. That is, the raw material is getting converted to finished goods. Now, once finished goods are made, finished goods were in inventory for 9 days. So those 9 days from day 14 to day 22, this is called finished goods inventory period. That finished goods is lying, uska sale nahi hua hai. It's still lying there and yet to get sold. Now, on day 23rd, the finished goods got sold, but we have not received the cash as. So we have received cash on day 30th. So from 23 to 29, these 7 days, these are called debtors collection period. Now, please understand, guys, raw material inventory period plus work in process inventory period plus finished goods inventory period plus debtors collection period, these all together is called operating cycle. Now, let's go a bit more in detail. Now, let's say I am paying to the raw material after 15 days. I am paying to my creditors. Creditors मतलब जिनसे मैंने raw material उधारी. I am paying my creditors after 15 days. So, operating cycle minus creditors period. Because अब पैसा कब जा रहा है? पैसा day 1 को नहीं जा रहा है. As soon as I purchase raw material, पैसा जा रहा है क्या नहीं? पैसा 15 days के बाद जा रहा है. So, operating cycles minus creditor payment period is called cash cycle, or it is also called as net operating cycle. Now, फिर से एक बार raw material inventory period plus work in process inventory plus finished goods inventory plus data collection period is called my operating cycle. This is also called as gross operating cycle. And from gross operating cycle, when you subtract creditors payment period, the remaining time is called cash cycle or net operating cycle. And working capital is capital used for 1 day multiplied by your net operating cycle. So in working capital also you have gross working capital and you have net working capital. So for calculating gross working capital, you use operating cycle. For calculating net working capital, you use cash cycle. But capital used for 1 day will always remain the same. Now, this capital used for 1 day, we have just taken for raw material. But the definition of working capital says money required for day-to-day operations. What about the salary of the people? Not salary, actually, we should call it wages. I told you the difference between salary and the wages. Wages is for production people and salary is for non-production people. So capital required for 1 day, we have just taken it from raw material point of view because that is the major thing. But yeah, salary and other expenses also comes as a part of working capital. Therefore, we use working capital margin. Margin takes care of any fluctuation in working capital. Anyway, this is it for today. Please understand this. If you want this sheet, just let me know in the comments. Send me your email ID and I will definitely send you this. I hope you enjoyed the session. If you like the session, you know what to do. Thank you. Let's meet again.